Hey y'all. I know it's what midnight there where you're about to go to bed. It's 8:35 a.m. here. Just not too long waking up. Didn't sleep too well. I was too excited to sleep. Last night we planted some plants out here, and the way how these plants were formed, I knew that they would be opening out this morning. And it was a windy night, so I was kind of like, "Ooh, will they open? Will they perform? What will they do?" And so I was kind of excited to see those plants. So believe it or not, I didn't sleep because I was excited for the plants. And so the first thing this morning, I had Joseph, who's back there sitting there this way. I had Joseph open the gate so that I can come out and check out the plants, and we can continue um, before the sun got too hot, right? So I see I got one person say hello. What I want people to do today, um, I'm gonna wait till I have a couple more people on here, but I just want people to share their goals for 2022, because sometimes it helps a lot to talk about it, to type about it, to write about it. If you don't have your goals in perspective every single day, you're not going to really be able to accomplish the things that you set out to do. Some people make a vision board. Some people they make scrapbooks. But you hear a lot about vision boards, and I wanted to know, if there are people out there who they put things on their vision board that they were able to accomplish. Me personally, like if I have a plan, I have to make it work out to the very last. I have to make it work to the point where I have to put it on a PowerPoint so that I can tell the beginning, the middle, and the end, and how things will be executed, how it will be funded. And I said this before, that I treat myself as an investor. I treat myself as someone who I had to make the case to and provide the information for. So I normally, when I have a goal, I make a presentation about it, and I give it all the details from the beginning, the middle, and the end, so that I can see it in my own mind. Since coming to Africa, though, that has not been my reality. It has been my reality as far as other things, as far as the business, my business goals, and my achievements go. But there are certain things that I simply did not have a vision board, a PowerPoint, a short film, and nothing for. And I had to work hard at it and keep the vision in my mind day and night, and speak positively and work positively towards the accomplishment of that goal. So my question is, do vision boards and, in my case, presentations, is that always the case? And the truth is, no, it is not. But when inspiration is coming at you fast and it's coming at you all the time, you are going to want to, I hope this isn't glitchy for y'all. You're going to want to if I see I have somebody watching, if you can let me know if you're seeing this clearly, please go ahead and share that, so I can know that this is not a glitchy spot, because I'm sitting on the cliff and we have like high wind. So what I'm talking about is manifestation of your goals. We have been told to put things on vision boards. We've been told to put things in writing. We've been told to put things in prayer. We've been told to put things in our socks. We've been told to carry a lucky rabbit's foot. But the thing that I realized as far as accomplishing goals work is the actual work, actually doing things that have to do with what you are trying to accomplish. Not letting yourself get distracted by the conversations and the misconversations and the misinformation that is happening around you. How do you do that? You have to keep a single mind towards your goals, towards your objectives. Okay, and this is not to say to be insensitive, to say I don't care, but you have to not let the media and fear take up so much of your consciousness. I left JoJo in the bed sleeping, but and I thought I heard something. But yeah, check it out. This is my view right now. This is where I am. I'm sitting out here on the cliff. Right. So anyway, a lot of us have been told to put things on our vision board and put things. Me personally, like I said, I make presentations, but it is not always necessarily so. You can always manifest positive things in your life by working on your own a little bit towards what you're trying to achieve every single day. Because a vision board is static, right? It is just staying in one place. It is not moving. It is not active. It's not getting you motivated enough or inspired enough where you are going to get out and do something for it, right? If your goal is repatriation into Africa, you just do the little that you can do. Find out how much it costs. Find out how much, how long the flight is. Find out how much rent is. Find out the cost of living. Find out the things that will be valuable to you in the future. Okay, maybe you're not kidding yourself and you're remaining positive and kidding yourself into different things, right? The sound is distorting my voice. Thank you, everyone. Okay, so this is what I'm gonna do. I am going to go back this way, and I'm going to sit. The wind is distorting my voice. Okay, how is that? Thank you. Okay, so I'm gonna sit on one of these cement seats, and hopefully that will be helpful. Okay. All right. So better? Okay, good. Thank you so much for that. Right. So yes. So doing the little bit that you can do every day with what you have available to you is one of the fastest ways of manifesting your goal, right? You might need $50,000 to start that business, but even at you have $10,000 or $10, that is $49,990 less than you need. Don't look at the goal as something so large that you can't accomplish it, that, oh my gosh, it's so much bigger than me. Oh my gosh, what am I going to do? Little by little, you can accomplish your goals in the fight, right? It depends on what exactly you're trying to accomplish and your mindset of staying positive regardless of what is happening around you or what is happening to you, or who is trying to take advantage of you, or who is trying to lie to you, or who is trying to abuse you. Hey, Cookie, were you crying? I knew I heard something. Oh, Polisana baby. She's got beach hair. I can't put her on camera. Her hair is all beachy, right? So it doesn't matter what COVID and whatever else is happening in the world. You have to have somewhere in your mindset, in your mind, to say, this is how I'm going to accomplish my goals. This is what I'm going to do every day. You have to say that, you have to do that, and you have to think that good things are always happening to you. Good things are on the way. Good things are coming towards me all the time. You have to manifest that. I'm a money magnet. Money, I love money, and money loves me. I'm attracting all the money that I need all the time. One of the things that I always do, I used to do for a long time, is always say to myself, I have enough money in the bank to get everything that I want done. I have all the money that I will ever need. I have all the food. I have everything. Whatever it is that I'm lacking really in life, I always speak that into positivity. I always beat that. This is uncomfortable. Hold on. Wait, sit out a little bit. You're so tall. Sit out a little bit so your head is in my lap. Okay, put your head here. Nice girl. Yes. So speak positively to yourself. Act positively to yourself, right? And I've said this like probably last year, um, that one of my tools of manifestation is I use honey. I use honey. If you don't have honey, you can always use a little bit of sugar. If things are not going as well as it could in life for you, and it's all going to hell, and forget the plans and forget everything, is, I used to put a spoon of honey on my tongue, and I eat the honey, and I imagine all of the things that I want in my life, how sweet and how wonderful and how blissful and how joyful it will be when I accomplish the things that I want. And I eat the honey, and I say, as the honey is sweet, so is my life sweet, right? And that alone allows me to change my course of direction, to change my goal and my directive, right? And so the next thing that we should also be mindful of, you can always also be mindful of when you're trying to accomplish your goals and trying to manifest what it is that you're looking to do for a new year, or just to get to the next level in life. I have this one mantra that I say, and I use it all the time. It is very, very powerful. I've said it before in passing, but I want to say it to engage you, okay? To engage your consciousness and your subconsciousness. My stumbling blocks are my stepping stones. My stumbling blocks are my stepping stones. So when I see a problem in my life, I try to see the best way that I can use this problem to traject myself to the next level. It is something that I learned at an early age. I encountered a lot of adversaries to life, and adversaries in my family. And I encountered them when I was really, really, really young. And I was young enough to bounce back. There are things that happened to me in my lifetime that is enough to destroy anyone's life. I remember this one time I was going to the hospital. I had an anxiety attack, and it was the first time it had happened to me. I didn't know that I was susceptible to anxiety attacks, or I didn't know I could even have an anxiety attack. I thought I was having a heart attack. And I was taken to the hospital. I was taken off of a bus in New York City by ambulance and taken to the hospital with an anxiety attack. And we were all waiting to see. I swear I was having a heart attack, but I wasn't. It was just an anxiety attack. And we were all waiting to see, and they said, well, you're not having an anxiety attack, you're having I'm sorry, a heart attack, you're having an anxiety attack. I didn't even know what that was. And we were waiting to see a psychologist to, to write me my prescription or do what you call it with me. And I was going through a lot of stress at the time, like serious stress. And there was this one lady also waiting to see the psychologist, and her nails were overgrown and her hair, and she was unkempt, and she had spent her whole life in mental health institutions, and and she was talking to herself, and she was talking out loud, and she was talking to the doctor, and she was talking and she was talking, and there was just this one thing that happened to her when she was a child, like probably 12. And that one thing was so difficult for her to get over. And throughout her life, she had triggers that brought her back to that place, to that one thing in her life. And so that one thing ultimately destroyed her chances of happiness, her future of marriage and children, and the kind of life that, we think is the ideal life. That one incident of what someone did to her. And, I processed that, and I thought to myself, if I spoke out loud the things that happened to me, if I spoke out loud and I told anybody any of that stuff, they would say I'm lying, but I went through some stuff that to this lady who this one thing had ruined her life. I went through some things that she could never come back from. And I struggled as a young woman with suicide. I struggled with that because my things were so goddamn awful, right? With my family. I was the last child in my family. When my parents divorced, I was the last one. So when everyone else was raised and had some semblance of normalcy, I did not. I grew up with my father as a single father, and I grew up with my mother as a single mother. And both of them were so wrapped up in their own world that they didn't give a damn. I was raising myself, and as a result, a lot of things went sideways, a lot of things, right? And there was no like affection or there was no soft place or soft person for me to turn to, and I had to be tough, and I had to tough myself out of the things that happened as a result of the way how messed up my family was. But in any event, after encountering that lady, it kind of opened my eyes that the issue that I was going through at the time, that's nothing in comparison to the stuff that I've already been through. And why am I having an anxiety attack? I'm having an anxiety attack because I feel like I don't have any control over the situation, right? So I'm just taking in this woman, and I use her as a relax. I used her as a springboard to say, you're tougher. And maybe you were able to go through the things that you went through, and you were able to tough through those things, and you maybe the way how things happened to you, you were able to tough through them. And so if you came through that as a child and it did not ruin and tear down your life and ruin your life and leave you walking the streets and eating out of garbage cans, if you went through that stuff and you're still as tough as you are now, then honey, this is nothing. This is nothing. And so I've been able to use that. And I'm trying to tell you, you who are going through whatever you're going through or whatever you're seeing right now in your life, you've been through worse than that, right? You're tougher than that. You have more in you than this situation, than this problem, than this COVID, than this Omicron and Delta and whatever it is. You have it in you to rise above that situation. You have it in you to grasp the opportunities that you see. Not funny. To grasp the opportunities that you see and make the best of yourself. You're not obligated to sit there and suffer and die in suffering. You're not obligated to let a bad situation or a bad experience ruin your whole entire life. You know, and I go back to that lady because I said to myself that someone else still has the power over her. Someone else decided, made a conscious decision to screw up her life. And here she is in her 50s, still paying for what someone else did. And I'm asking you now, what are you paying for? You don't have time for that. You don't have time to let what someone else did to you ruin you and take control of your life and manipulate you and make you make poor decisions and turn you sideways. You don't have time for that. So what do? One, you take all of that negative energy, all of that anger and all of that stuff and all of that disappointment, and you convert it. You convert it to positive energy. Learn how to be a new kind of machine, a new kind of transmission tower. You get negative energy, you turn it into positive energy. You get bad things happening to you, you turn it into good things. And so for me, being able to say, okay, this is what happened. I don't have time to dwell in that place. I don't have time to think about this person and their decision and what they did wrong and what they woulda, shoulda, coulda, didn't do. I don't have any kind of time for that because I will not let one person, I won't let one person ruin my life and my chances of happiness and have me go down into a hole that I can't get out of in 20, 30 years. It won't happen. And before that happens, I will drop people like a hot potato. I will act like I never knew you just so that I can get Renee away, as far away from you as possible, because Renee has some other things to do in life. And you can't let anybody hold you down, hold you back, stop you from getting what you should get, getting to where you need to be and going to where you need to go. Okay, so don't let anyone, and I'm telling you that I had encountered adversity at a young age has been like rocket fuel to me. It has been like rocket fuel because it allows me to say, hell no. If I went through that, I can go through this. I will not have anyone taking my goals or my dreams because of their bad decision. And I'm not going to turn around and blame myself for everything, which I used to do a lot. And that is how you kill your dreams and your goals, because you're thinking all of this negative stuff that somebody did to you. And, you know, you feel powerless in the face of others. You feel powerless in the face of your objectives, your goals, your visions for your life, because someone else is dictating to you what you can and what you cannot do and how you can and how you cannot do, right? And so for me, once I have anyone in my life or that I trust or that I have, that I'm looking at you from a perspective that maybe I can trust this person, maybe I can get to know this person, you know, there is still a fence. There has to be a fence between you and I, because once I begin to trust you, And once I begin to take you inside of my thoughts, then your opinions and your thoughts now become important. And then when your opinion becomes more important than my opinion or my goals or my ambition, then I am now living for you rather than living for my goals and my dreams and my agenda. Am I reaching somebody? Holla at me in the comments if you think what I'm saying hits the nerve. And I know it does because y'all watching. But what I'm saying to you is, as far as you're going to accomplish your goals and accomplish your dreams in this year, I mean, there are many people who didn't make it out of 2020, 2021. Betty White died on the last day of 2021. There are a lot of people who isn't going any further in this 2022. Sidney Poitier died this morning, or for you last night, right? Not even the first week of 2022. A lot of people aren't going to make it out. So you have to be conscious that your time is limited, right? So managing your time and not allowing others to influence you or get into your head to the point that they take away from your goals and your dreams and your ambition, right? Thank you, Queenie. Yes. Keeping in your head, remembering your goals and your purpose and your ambition. And I know, like I said, when I started the vision board, as for me, I make a presentation. I'm going to tell you what those things do. The vision board and the presentations and even websites I made, those things I did when I didn't have anything else to do. Meaning I did those things when I was stuck in the house in winter, when I was, I had nothing else to suck up that gap of time between the goal and manifesting the goal. And so I made the vision board about this house I wanted to live in and where I wanted to live and all of this stuff and the car I wanted to drive and the business that I wanted to do. And there's one thing on the vision board that I'm actually working and living in a part of that idea. Okay, because I got it, I caught it, I saw it, I know, right, that I can do it. The vision board is one thing. Mantras and telling yourself your stumbling blocks or your stepping stones and using how to transform energy is another thing. Speaking positive and excluding yourself from people who don't value you is another thing. Writing things down is another thing. There are many layers to this, more than just a vision board, because the vision board, as I said, is static. It's just a material thing. It's like, might as well you went out and bought a plant and kept it in your house and kept watering the plant and call the plant your new Ferrari, because at least the plant will grow. But the vision board is static, right? And then you move around and it's in the middle of the place and it's in the middle of your house and you don't know what to do with it. And it's not working for you because you're not working towards your goal. Okay? You're not working towards the accomplishment of that goal. And you have to be mindful that as you work towards your goal, whatever that goal is, a new car, getting married, or whatever, you have to be cognizant of the negative part of your goal as well. That there is nothing that happens without its equal and opposite reaction. Okay, so all positive have a negative that comes with it. Ask famous people, ask celebrities, right? Me, I never wanted to be any kind of celebrity or famous because I like my privacy. I like my space. I like being alone. I like my own company, and I don't want to be one of these people that they class as, a nasty celebrity or whatever. I never wanted to be any of that. I wanted to be rich more than I wanted to be famous. But you ask anyone who has accomplished a goal, what all comes with it. There is a weight that comes with it. There is a burden that comes with it. But you have to decide, is it worth it? Is it worth it? Is it really and truly worth it? Right? And sometimes the answer is no, and sometimes the answer is yes, because what you have to take away from in order to make that goal work, the price might be higher than what you're willing to pay, right? So for me, one of my goals was getting married and having children. But I realized that I was encountering the kind of people that led me down a path of indignity and led me down a path of feeling less than myself and my self-esteem, and led me down a path that made me feel less than someone who is worthy of love and respect. And so I had to reevaluate that. Is that worth it for me? No, because once someone leads you down the path of low self-esteem, what else is there? Once someone takes away your dignity and your pride, what else is there? You can't accomplish any goals or any visions when your self-esteem is crushed, and when your dignity and your pride is traduced, and when people make you feel smaller than or less than someone else. And that's why I believe that it's important to separate yourself from negative relationships, because when you do that, you're able to build yourself and put yourself in a place that that allows you to grow your self-esteem and your self-respect and your dignity. Go watch TV, honey. Go watch TV, baby. Okay. Yeah. So it's necessary. It is necessary that you put yourself in a place where you're untouchable. You're untouchable psychologically, where what you see is your goal, and you have enough steam and energy and pride and power to go out and get that goal, no matter what or how far or how impossible or how difficult or how wild it could be. But as I said, remember, there are drawbacks, there are setbacks. It's not going to be perfect. You have to decide what you're willing to live with, what you're willing to accomplish, to give up. Okay? Some of y'all want kids and you don't have the time, the energy, or the patience. You don't realize how much children suck up of your life. You didn't get to travel. You didn't get to do anything with yourself. You didn't write your book. You didn't do any of the things that made you feel accomplished as a person. And then when you have the baby, you don't even remember when you wanted the baby. You just see how tired you are and how miserable you are, and your life has gone downhill, and everything goes into the baby, and you feel frustrated with yourself and the baby. You don't think for a minute about the time when you wanted the baby. So you have to be conscious of that. You have to be really, really conscious of the step back and the step backs that come with your desires, that come with the things that you're looking to accomplish, right? Like this, when I was building this, I wasn't aware. I was slightly aware, but I really didn't know all of the trauma that would come with it. That, inviting people to come to a place of healing means that I'm inviting people who are slightly broken, and, sometimes they try to break me. And so I didn't know all of that, but, it comes with the territory. Would I do it? Would I do it over again? Yes, I would do it differently. I'm not going to say if I had it to do, I would do all over again. I would do it differently. And I have an opportunity every single day. You have an opportunity to do things every single day, to do things differently, do things towards your goals, work towards your ambition, work towards your dream. Whatever small it is that you are thinking of, whether you want to go start a hair salon or whatever, learn how to start doing hair out of your home. I can't understand the people who want a bakery, but they don't even bake. I can't understand the people who want, who want to have, being in, makeup artists to the stars, but they won't even practice makeup on themselves, on their neighbors, or on their friends. The one thing that anyone will tell you about me is that I have always wanted to come or move to Africa. That is the one thing. If you go back 10, 15 years ago, and you go ask somebody that I used to date, or somebody that we were friends, and you said, what do you remember the most about Renee? They'll tell you she was trying to go to Africa. That crazy woman was trying to go to Africa. That's all they will tell you. They will remember about you, right? So yes, Queen Chosen says, yes, the word of the year. Hey! Yes, that is it. The word of the year. Queen Chosen says untouchable. Untouchable. Don't let them come up in your space, in your, right? Yes, and align yourself with your goals. Don't let them come up in your space and in your brain and in your mind, and manipulate and play with your head like Play-Doh. Right? That's what some of these YouTube channels and the news channels and the video channels and all of this other stuff. That's what they're doing. They're playing with you like Play-Doh. They're as Jamaicans say, them a play up in your head. They're manipulating. Them a pala pala in your head. Pala pala means they do like this. They're just like all over inside of your brain, right? Don't let anybody get on that other side of you. Align yourself with it. See that? Align yourself. That's what Chosen Queenie says. Align yourself with your goals. Don't let anybody get into your head to the point where they disappoint you or break you to the point where you feel inferior to them and question yourself and your judgment and your goals. And you got yourself this far. I'm not saying that no, don't listen to anybody, and don't listen to some kind of information that might be able to help you. I'm not saying don't do that. What I'm saying is, do not let anyone touch you in a way that your goals become crushed under their opinions. Am I talking to somebody? Are y'all hearing? Come on, give me some snaps, people. Don't let anyone touch you to the point that they break you or break your goals, because once they give you these negative emotions inside of you, the disappointment, the heartache, the stress, they break you down. They break down your abilities. I mean, I remember when I just came to Tanzania, I did a video that said my first 30 days in Africa were better than my last 30 years in America, right? And when I did that video, I was going through so much stress and unbelief at the fact that I really and truly sat my ass in America for that whole entire time and let my life go, and my youth and my beauty and all of the good juice that I had in me and the energy and my time, I let all of that get sucked into the machine of America, and the people around me who were questioning my sanity for wanting to go to Africa. I got sucked into that, and it robbed me of 30 whole entire years. And so when I got this place, I better believe I was working on this day and night, because it was a goal and a dream and an ambition. I was going to go to Kenya and rent a house prior to, I think 2018, 2019. And the house was right next door to a 4-star resort, right? And I was going to go there, and I was going to do exactly what I said I was going to launch. I was going to be doing these investment tours and inviting people to Kenya or wherever, and teaching them about Africa and teaching them about investment opportunities and blah, 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 blah. And while I was doing that, everything about that kept saying Tanzania. And I was like, I don't know no Tanzania. I don't know nobody in Tanzania. I'm not going to know Tanzania. Where is Tanzania? Where is even Tanzania? I was fighting the resistance. Sometimes you see me with a bracelet that I wear on my arm. And I found that bracelet in the streets of Philadelphia after I prayed one evening. I went out for a walk. The Spirit said, go for a walk. There's a gift. And I went, and it was a brand new bracelet. Looked like it fell out of somebody's bag, like they just bought it. And I went right back home, and I knew it was a Maasai bracelet. Don't ask me how or why, but I knew it was from the Maasai. So I went and I Googled the Maasai, because I thought the Maasai were all in Kenya, and show you how much I knew. And when I Googled the Maasai, and it kept saying Tanzania, I'm like, Tanzania, where is that? And Tanzania borders Kenya, and the Maasai people are also in and that was the first time I knew about Tanzania. And then about 2 weeks later, I went to a pawn shop to sell some scrap gold that I had just in the house. And I had some other things in the house. I used to like collecting old stuff. And I went to go sell them. And after I sold my stuff, there was this ring. And it was a very nice ring. And I was like, oh, what kind of ring is this? And I thought it was just a little, costume jewelry ring, right? So I went to the bank. I was about my business, and I went to the bank. And the Spirit kept saying, buy this ring, buy the ring, buy the ring. And I went there, and they sold it for me for like something real, real, real cheap. And I went, and the stone was very strange. It was a very strange stone. I've never seen anything like it. So I thought it was like plastic. So after I paid the money, the guy who was selling me the ring, he put on his loupe and he was looking at the ring. And he said, oh my gosh, I see inclusions. And I'm like, okay, what did that mean? And he's like, this is a real stone. I'm like, oh, okay, good, great, thank you. And I'm like, what kind of stone is it? And he told me it was a tourmaline. So I'm like, what? Okay, I've never heard of a tourmaline. I don't know nothing about no tourmalines. So I went and I researched tourmaline. And one of the key places in the world that produces tourmaline was Tanzania. And I was like, oh, wow. And from finding that ring, I got so fascinated and so caught up in the world of gem trading that I went and I did some research, and I decided that that is what I wanted to do. I wanted to go into the gem trade business, but I decided that I was going to go to Kenya, even though the Spirit had already told me Tanzania, like for 3 different things unrelated. I was hell bent on going to Kenya. And so I went to the gem trade school, and I was taking, I believe it or not, there were classes that I could do online. So there's a school in Thailand that you could just get your gem trading certification online, and you could do modules. And then I found a Pearl course that you could do online for free. And I did the Pearl course, Pearl grading. So Pearl grading, I had Pearl, and the only thing I didn't have in my collection. So this is in months, right? Because I'm moving to Kenya and I'm going to go into the gem trade business, right? So within months, from point A to point B, I had certification out. I was like, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to Africa, and I'm going to get involved in the gem trade. So I got a whole bunch of certifications, and then there were these courses that I could take online, and these classes and these things that I could learn about. And I was watching documentaries on specific trade. You name the gem, I know exactly where in the world it comes from. I know how it's formed. I know how it's mined. I know what they have to do to get it out of the ground, and how they cut it, and how they grade it, and how they polish it, and how to set it. So I was gung-ho on this gem trade thing, but the one thing I didn't have that I wanted more importantly to take to Africa was diamond grading. because I knew diamond grading, I can go anywhere on the continent with diamond grading. So I went to the gem school, and they wanted something like $50,000, and it was too short of a program to get any kind of government assistance or anything. And I was not going to spend $50,000, and I was like, wow, I can't believe it. And I felt, crushed. But I had already cleared my time and my schedule that I was going to go back to school, and I was going to get something that I was going to take to Africa that I'm going to use to learn and teach. And I'm going to use this to catapult me to the next level. And I applied to film school, and I just sent them some of my short films, and I got a full scholarship. And I said, that's the direction that I need to go. But I'm telling you that story so you understand that sometimes you have to keep working at it. Keep working at it. You might end up somewhere else, right? Had I not been looking for a program that would give me the skills and the tools to make me feel competitive in Africa, had I not been looking and working assiduously on achieving this goal of coming to Africa with a skill, I would not be able to look and see that in this coming next year, 2020, that was 2019 I'm telling you about, in this coming next year, if I applied now, I might still get into a program for January, right? I didn't know that, okay? So you have to be hot and ready and fired up about something. What are you fired up about? Learn everything that you can. And even at the end, you have to change directions. And trust me when I tell you that I haven't given up on diamond grading. I haven't given up on it. No, because I'm here on the continent. There are enough diamonds and enough schools here. And, maybe I'll go to Thailand, which is the closest place that I could go and get the certification and get some, because there aren't a lot of schools here, and the schools that are here are mostly ran by Europeans. And, so I'd either have to go to South Africa or Thailand to get that diamond grading. I haven't given up on it, but I knew that coming with, raising JoJo by myself, that I had to put myself in a position where I was able to, oh, somebody just sent me a message from my Cash App. Here we go. Okay. All right, there you go. Thank you. Yes. Yeah, so I had to put myself in the position, right? And I'm talking to you as someone who is living in the goal and living in the dream and living in the objective about manifesting, okay? Manifestation isn't just something you say to yourself, and it's not just a vision board. It's actually the activity. It is actually doing the work. It's getting up early, doing the work towards this thing. Half the people I knew thought I was goddamn crazy when I was pursuing that gem trading thing. Half the people thought I was crazy. Do you know why? Because it seemed so far-fetched. It seemed like because there weren't Black people talking about gem trading. There are Black people talking about making jewelry and making beads and buying beads and learning how to make jewelry. I didn't want that. What I know is most of the precious stones of the world comes from the African continent. Most of the precious stones. So why is it that we as African queens aren't wearing the precious stuff? Why are we opting for the cheap Chinese plastic things to adorn our bodies? Meanwhile, the other people are wearing diamonds and rubies and sapphires and emeralds and all of that stuff. That didn't sit right with me, right? And I wanted, that since I have JoJo and I'm going to raise her myself, I need to put myself in a position where I have the kind of income coming in that would be able to take care of her properly. I saw her as a child that was being raised on the African continent and was being raised in by means. So that is the what was the driving force. I didn't want JoJo to go through my suffering and my soldiering with me. So I looked at industries, I looked at goals that was going to give us or put us in the position to take us to a place where we did not have to sit and depend on anyone else. And for me, you know, I looked at the things that I could do that I could insert my life and still be a mom in. Okay, so look at your life. Like, okay, you know the kind of lifestyle that you want to live. You know the kind of things that you want to accomplish. You know the kind of things that you can do. You know that, right? You know how late you want to sleep and how early you want to wake up. You know if you want to do some kind of 9 to 5, or if you want to, you know, work for someone else. You know if you want, if it's a job that you want. You know if it's a career that you want. You know how much you can handle. I've had enough. I have had enough of corporate American corporate life. I've been there, done that, bought that t-shirt, shoveled the snow, stood out there at 5 a.m. trying to catch the bus. I was one of the rats going to and from. I did that for a very long time. So I paid my dues, right? I've paid my dues and I've accomplished the things that I set out to do. And I have pulled myself from being an ignorant, you know, no education, unsavvy, don't know anything about the world or the people in it, to a more sophisticated person by getting the education and putting myself in the rooms where I at the time I didn't care if I was the only Black person. I was just in the room, and you're gonna have to deal with me because I'm in the room, right? So, you know, I've done that. I've been there. I've done that. I fought the fight, right? And I wouldn't say it was the good fight, because at the end of the day, I was left exhausted. I was paying my bills in my house, paying all of my expenses, paying the car note or the car insurance, and buying clothes to keep up with the weather. And, you know, the money was coming, but the money was also going back out, right? And then those of us who are from other countries, you go back to your country, and that goes, you know, I can't even begin to tell you how much of the GDP of Jamaica I'm responsible for going back often. And most Jamaicans and most people from foreign countries, they have to go back to their countries often enough so that they can stay sane, right? And so I've done that. I've spent the money. I've bought the books. I took the courses. I've been in the rat race. I've had the experience. But when I decided that there is a new goal and a new chapter in my life, and how I wanted to enter into that chapter, and how I wanted to start the chapter and in the middle of the chapter and close the chapter, some new things happened. Okay? And so I'm taking you through the last 3 things that I went through in my life before all of this. One was the gem trading. I wanted to be a gem trader. Then I ended up in film school because I didn't have any money to go to the diamond grading class, right? I didn't have enough money for that. It was $50,000, it's a lot of money. And I decided that I was not going to put myself through that program. And I got a full ride scholarship to film school. And then during lockdown and COVID from film school, I was ready to go. I had enough. I was working on my plans to come to Africa. I was working on my dreams to move here. I knew how much chicken costs. I know how much milk costs. I know how much bread costs. I know the cost of living. I know where I wanted to live. I know what I wanted to do. I wanted to go into the beekeeping industry as well. Because while the bees are making honey, I could be out there making some money with my gem or whatever I was doing. So I had an idea, I had an objective, I had a goal, and I was working on it every single day. So when this COVID came and shut everything and everyone down on the same day, not the next day, on the day that my city shut down, my city was the first to shut down in the Northeast, New Rochelle, New York. I got out. I got out while most people were sat there and they prayed over their furniture in their houses and they looked and whatever is going to happen. I bought me a ticket and I went to North Carolina and I stayed down there with JoJo from March until June. From March until June. And when I realized they were not, this is the real thing. This is not a drill. They're not going to open anything back up anytime soon. I have lost enough of my life, enough of my time, enough of my energy on that jacked up hooga booga country that doesn't have any respect for Black women, no respect for women in general, no respect for anybody, white people or Black people, because white people, they be struggling too, but they know how to make it look right. Okay? And I had enough. I had enough, and I said, I am out. And the one place on the map that was open on the continent, the one place was the same place that I was like, I ain't going there. I don't know nothing about no Tanzania. This was where I was called and I was sent and I was placed. Okay? And again, I was so enthused. Entheos. It's a Greek word. In the spirit of God. I was so enthused and electrified that all of the things that I had in my head, all of the goals, all of the dreams, all of the objectives of moving to the continent, all of that, I was so enthused. I was doing stuff for free. I was showing people houses. I was taking people around. If I had the time, I would do it. I was still in film school, still on Zoom classes, day and night, suffering through the program. I did not want to drop out because it was something I wanted to do that I even thought I couldn't do, or I thought was more than me, you know? So if the people that I knew thought gem trading was insane, when they saw me going to film school, a lot of them stopped talking to me because I was a writer previous to college. My first writing award I won when I was about 12. I was a writer, and I've always written, and I've always been able to write myself out of any situation. And from the perspective of a writer, I knew that film was my natural trajectory. I knew that, but I was too afraid. I felt too. I felt like it was too much for me. A girl that went through so much as a youth, a girl that came from a broken family, and I didn't have anybody, and I felt like, oh, that I can't do that. Like that's not for me. But you know, I was still making my little micro docs and my little short films. And anything that I wanted to do, I was either going to make a PowerPoint for it or I was going to make a little film about it. And those are the little things that got me into film school. So even though I felt somewhere in my consciousness that that was not enough or that was too much for me, or it was too big a goal or too big a dream or too lofty, even, you know, not feeling that I had, you know, the ability to actually get to that level, my persistence was still working. And so that's what we're talking about, is manifesting through working. You don't manifest anything through nyam nyoho renke kyao. You don't manifest anything through I think therefore I am, you know, this. Those things help you to motivate you, to inspire you, to give you the strength and the energy to go forth and do the work. That's what they do. When you wake up and you say, good things are coming my way, when you put those things, when bad things are happening, my stumbling blocks are my stepping stones. I'm going to go through here because I'm going through. I didn't come to stay. I'm going through here. I'm getting on the other side of this. This is not where I am going to be in 5 years, 10 years, 20 years down the road. I ain't got no time for this. This is what it is right now, but I'm going to step out of this into something better, right? You got to tell yourself those things. You have to tell yourself those things. But on top of telling yourself, you better get busy. You got to do some work. You got to do some work, right? I have this goal that I want to make this place, the front of the house, into an event space, right? People are paying a lot of money for events, for weddings, for this and that, and the third. And, you know, I spent some time taking some stumbles last year, and I was sick most of the time. But this year, no. But later on, when this live is finished, I'm going to make a video of the work I did yesterday, right? And so that gives me more inspiration, and more people will see, and more people will want to book the space, and more people will want to probably invest, and more people will want to come here because I'm doing the work, right? And so that is how it works. You do the work. You do the little that you can do with what you have. I had an ambition to write a book. I wrote a couple of books. I have like 3 manuscripts that are unpublished. But there was this one book in particular that I needed to write. I needed to put that story out there in the universe because all of the anger was manifesting and was eating away all of the things that were unresolved. I had no one that I could talk to about any of the stuff I was going through. And so I decided that I was going to put it in a book, right? I was going to put it in a book. I was going to put it in I was going to tell it to the book. And, you know, there are people who've read that book that tell me that they've never been more alive after reading the content of that book, right? And I needed to put it there and leave it there because I was reliving the same thing over and over and over again. But at least putting it in the book, I knew that I was going to put these experiences in a place where other people could make use of it and make sense of the things that they were going through and value themselves, right? And know that they have something to contribute, right? And so I'm here this morning, my morning, your night, inspire you, kick you in the shin, tell you to get up. The only way you're going to manifest these goals, see Queenie says, you manifest through action. That is it. You got to get up and do something. Tell yourself positive things. Think positively. Stay away from people who are just, ripping you down, tearing you down, trying to get at you. And if you're going through some horrible stuff, just remember you went through some bad stuff before. Just remember you've already accomplished some things. You've already went through some things. And if you can go through that, you can go through this, right? So just think consciously on how you want to live, the things that you want to accomplish, and what kind of work you need to do to get there. And I'm telling you all of these things little by little, right? When we started this project, when I saw it, I knew based on the story that I was just telling you. So I've gone from the gem trade to the film school to now here, but I had this plan. And I was working on the plan little by little, and I was doing things that were related to the plan that I didn't even know were related to the plan. But when I started here and I started to work on this house, right, I had a grant, and I was using that grant. I said, okay, I could do this, I could do that, I could do little by little. I never had any expectation to, number one, work on this house because it was too big. My expectation was to work on the guest house, which was really small. I had enough money that I could do that. I signed the lease, I paid the money, and I took on the property because I was attracted to, hey, Cookie, I was hungry. I'm coming now. Give me 5 minutes, okay? I'm coming. So I was attracted to the space because it was enough to do the beekeeping. And there are other people here on YouTube that they met me probably the day or two after I came here, and I told them I wanted to do beekeeping. That's what I really wanted to do. And they can confirm that. So it's not something that I made up, but I took the property because it had this land that I could do the beekeeping. And so when I started this project, I knew how I wanted it to look. I knew where I wanted to go with it. I knew who were the people that I wanted to come here. And so when I started the project, I had only a little bit of money to get through some levels, right? And people made pre-reservations. What I did was, because I had the experience of being a web developer, because I had the experience in the travel industry, I knew what I needed to do in order to get the project to where it needed to go. And so I sold pre-reservations and raffle tickets for stays. And that is how we were able to finance and fund and move the project forward for people who were looking to stay here on their future reservations. So starting and moving the project forward. And I would say, not every penny, because that would be a lie, but most of what was put into the project went straight to the project, to building the house. When I said I was going to do something, I did it. If I said I'm going to put in the roof and somebody gave me $10 to do that, I did it. Whatever it is that I said I was going to do, I did it, right? Because there were enough negative things on Africa and enough negative things on people who don't do what they say they're supposed to do. And I was not going to be walking around with my father's last name as someone who does not do what they're supposed to do. I would have to change my name. I cannot change who my father is. I can't change who my grandfather is. I carry those people, the way I live my life, as a part of their legacy. So I was not going to be out here and not do what I said I was going to do, right? And when I say not every single penny, because there are other peripheral things that go into just construction that people are not aware of. Like out here, you have to source the material, and then you have to go and find the material and pay for transportation and pay for the material and pay for this and pay for that. And there are a lot of peripheral things that if every single penny had gone to the house, those things could not get done. You have to, to pay for getting and acquiring certain things. Like if someone, like the other day, the electrician came out here to give us a quote on the electricity. You got to pay him money for that, right? You got to pay money to do that, even though you have not yet engaged him or strung a single light. You still have to pay him for that because it's his time, and he still has children to feed, right? So, and like, I'm not going to be out here doing all this construction work and I'm hungry. No, I'm going to buy myself something to eat or whatever. But at the same time, you have to learn how to do the things that you say you're going to do. You have to adopt yourself a different kind of work ethic. Work towards your goals, work towards your dreams, and do the things that you say you're going to do. Otherwise, no goal is going to be accomplished. You're not going to be able to achieve things. And by the way, stop acting like you have all the time in the universe. Stop acting like you have all the time in the world. You do not have all the time in the universe, okay? When I started this live, I knew that I had only a certain amount of time between when JoJo wakes up and when I will be able to do the live. That time has expired. It's time for her to go and eat, right? When I woke up this morning, I knew I only had a certain amount of time to get Joseph to go and finish what we were doing yesterday before the sun got too hot and we couldn't accomplish what we wanted to do for the day. Stop acting like you have all the time in the world, right? And it sounds like I'm doing a lot because I am, but I'm not doing more than if somebody had hired me with all of my experience and all of my skill set, what they would do to me. So think about that. Think about, you know, using every single minute of your time towards the goals that you're trying to achieve, right? Get up early, work on them, you know, steadfastly. Do the little that you can do with what you have available to you. Don't let anybody get into your head that is going to take more from you than what they're putting in, right? You learn how to be untouchable. Don't let people get to the point where they can play in your head, whether that's from the CNN or BBC or YouTube or whatever. Don't let all of that, and stop distracting yourself with the Candy Crush and the Facebook and the Instagram. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. I know a lot of y'all go on there to try to see what you can learn and what you can do and see how other people are living. You can't live nobody else's life but yours. You cannot accomplish anyone else's goals but yours. They're out there accomplishing their goals. Are you? You need to ask yourself some critical questions when you're feeding into the social media. And I apologize for people who are following me on Instagram or on Facebook. My apologies. I am sorry, but this whole entire life is taking up my whole entire time, and I need to go and live it and accomplish these goals and do what I need to do. I will get someone who can work with me to help me to put out more on my social medias. But you know, I'm giving you these talks to furnish you with the tools that you need. Yeah, Chosen Queen said the time is now, right? Keep working on your goals. Keep working on your dreams. If you have a goal and you're not working on it, it's a dream. Don't put no damn thing on no vision board. Don't put it on no vision board. A vision board is a freaking static thing that is going to be decoration in your living room next year, right? Writing things down is even more powerful. When you have a good idea, you write that down and you start working towards it, right? You start working towards accomplishing the things that you can accomplish with the time and the energy that you have now, right? So don't get lost in the sauce by following what everyone is telling you to do. I mean, I'm not knocking the vision board. I am just saying it is a static thing. The thing is work. The thing is work. WORK. Put in the positive energy, put in the positive mindset, put in the positive things into your head, and then get busy. Be so excited about what the day has to hold for you that you cannot sleep. Okay, be so excited. Be so excited about yourself. Be excited about what you can do next and exhaust yourself with yourself. And let the goals exhaust you. Don't let no employer exhaust you. All right. If I was living in America still or working a 9 to 5, I guarantee you they would have me working some 16-hour days, not to count the 1 hour commute to work and the 1 hour commute back. They don't give a damn. They'll just put you in a private car and send you home if they have you working past a certain hour. They don't care. Okay, so no one is going to come along and feel bad for me or feel sorry for me, or, you know, or say, oh, poor Renee, she has to work like this. They'll work you, but you won't have the money. You'll have the money, but you won't have the time and the energy to accomplish the things that you need to accomplish, right? So don't let anyone take away from you, or work yourself to death. Work yourself. You work yourself, because they will work you. Go ask somebody who work in a hospital. Nowadays, they're working like 16, 17 hours a day in a hospital, right? And they're not working on their goals. Maybe their goals wasn't to stand there for 16, 17 hours a day. Maybe their goal was to help people. And they haven't figured out yet how to do what they need to do, that they can still work to help people, but not in the kind of hospital setting or the kind of setting that will consume their 16, 17 hours a day life, right? So y'all need to think and work hard, work smarter, not harder, right? There are many things that many people can do now that they can make a livelihood and a living without having the employer sucking the very life out of you. And I'm saying that because the other day one of our main supporters came here to visit us, and he said, "Well, Renee, how do you expect to accomplish these things?" And I said, if I had to work for somebody, I would have to accomplish whatever they told me to do. I would have to do it. The only difference is I am farming myself. They're not farming me. I'm farming myself. I'm exhausting myself with my goals and my dreams and my ideas and my ambition. That is what I am doing. I'm robbing my grave, as I said before. I ain't got time to think about anything else, anybody else, any other problems, any other drama. I am busy doing the work. All right, so get up and get it, y'all. I hope that was valuable to you. I hope that was helpful to you. If it was, please send me a little donation by Cash App. Email me exodusafrica1@gmail.com. Let's see. exodusafrica1@gmail.com. I do private consultations. I do assist people from all walks of life on a daily basis with their goals and their visions and their accomplishments and how they can, thank you, Chosen Queen. I appreciate that. Yes. So I help people on a daily basis to accomplishing their dreams and their goals. And we're going to be, you're going to like where I'm going with all of this talk in 2022. You know, we're not just going to be on YouTube. We have other channels that we're going to be putting more of our content out on. But, you know, I wanted to help and give you some advice and some direction as to how you're going to accomplish these goals, you know. But I can tell you something, whether you accomplish your goals or not, we're all going to die. We're all going to die. We're all going to live and die. So those things are factual. It is the decision to, am I going to be having a more fruitful life before my death, or am I going to die miserable? And I know it's not B for me. We're all going to die. So why die miserable and broke? Why die miserable, broke, poor, confused, and, you know, and let the COVID kill you a little faster because you haven't like gotten to a place where you can just regenerate positive ideas and positive energy in yourself. We're all going to die. So why die miserable, broke? Why not, you know, do the best you can with what you have available to you? Why don't you just try to find a place in your head that you are untouchable, as we said before, that nobody can get to you in your mind. You have your visions, your goals, you write them down and you work towards them. And if you have to work in secret, so be it. All right, love y'all. Thank you so much for watching. Yeah, and if you wanted to book a reservation at the Exodus House, go to exodushouse.com. That is exodushouse.com. You just need to plug it into Google and you are there. We're doing our investors program. We're running it for 16 weeks, or every week for 16 weeks from June to August, where we're inviting investors back to Africa to learn and understand about investment opportunities in Tanzania. Okay, y'all. To get more information on that, I will be having a Zoom class. Please go ahead and email me, exodusafrica1@gmail.com. And yeah, all right, y'all. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.